This is Joe Pugh for IFL TV. We're here at Firth Park Boxing Academy, match room in the community. Running higher today. It's been a good day here, hasn't it, Frank?
Yeah, great day. Great to come down here. All part of our initiative to invest more time, effort, resource, and money into these local clubs because they do a tremendous job. You only have to see 50 kids down here, training hard. Just won a few tickets for the Saturday night as well. But look, they do an amazing job down here, and it's also good to see. I've been speaking to the guys, the council really getting behind this as well. Because I think throughout the UK there's not enough investment there's not enough investment into boxing and boxing clubs, and I think they can change people's lives.
Did you see the disappointment in the kids' face when you turned up and not instead of Eddie Hearn?
Well, I don't think they even realise who I was. So they obviously haven't seen my recent PR.
Hopefully none of their parents are builders.
But I think we're in the middle. We're in the way of a picture. Yeah, let's move out the picture. I feel like we're in the picture a little bit. Sorry, when I walked in, they didn't know it. I did have to break it to them Eddie wasn't coming, but he'll be at the 5K on Saturday, and they'll be able to try and win some tickets off him there.
Obviously, you've been doing these for a while now. Last week we had the limb reopening. Just how important is it for you could use to kind of leave your mark on the grassroots of the sport?
100%. Look, we've had an amazing time doing what we've been doing at the highest level of the sport. But without places like this, we wouldn't have the fighters we work with. In the places like this, you've got the stars of tomorrow. I know there's going to be many a world champion from this gym here. So I think we're guilty of not doing enough in the past, quite honestly. And I think now we're trying to make a big change on that. The Lynn opening last week was obviously something that was great to see. But like again, coming all around the country and seeing places like this full of people boxing is great. And anywhere we can help and keep investing our time and resource and money back into it is the right thing for us to do.
I think it was a year ago today that it was announced that there'd been adverse finding in Conor Benn's obviously system. Stressful 12 months for you on that situation?
Yeah, look, it's been a long 12 months. It's not. I don't think it's ever got any easier. But the intensity's been the same for the last 12 months. But I feel like we're getting to a position. Obviously, he had his comeback fight, which was long awaited. But yeah, it feels like yesterday. To be honest, mate, we were sitting in London dealing with that. But hopefully onto positive things moving forward.
I remember we was all sitting in the Canary Riverside Plaza waiting to see if the fight was going ahead, what was going on, that you hosted that press conference. When you was going through all that a year ago, did you think this should all play out like it has done?
No, not at all. But we learn as well from things that went on, and hopefully we can improve the sport as well off the back of this. And I think, like I say, we learned a lot in the whole process, and it's been a long old 12 months, and like I say, focus is now to move on to positive things.
Did you see what Josh Taylor said about he's going to KO him for cheating?
No, I haven't seen. No.
Is that a fight that could potentially be made?
Yeah, possibly. Look, quite openly, all eyes are set on the EUBANK fight. For both sides, it's the biggest fight out there for both of them. Nothing comes anywhere close to it, and I'm very confident we'll make that happen. I want to make the Jack Castro against Josh Taylor fight. I believe Jack Castro deserves his opportunity to go back in there and get the win that he deserved last time. So that's a fight I'd love to make with a huge build-up.
Is it more or less likely that the EUBANK Benn fight will happen in the UK this year?
TBC, we're working on all options currently, hoping for some news soon. So, in the next 7 to 10 days, I think we'll have some clarity on that.
Has it got to be decided in the next 7 to 10 days if it's going to happen over here?
No, if it's going to happen on the 23rd of December, it's got to be done in the next sort of 7 to 10 days. It's a huge fight, deserves a massive build-up. That's what we need to work on.
Have you had any communication with kind of Team Fury / Usyk about, because it could clash?
No, I mean, not myself. Look, I'd be highly surprised with 7 weeks off the back of the Ngannou fight for a fight of that magnitude. It's a massive fight, Fury Usyk. I'd be quite surprised if it did happen just 7 weeks later. and I think January is more likely. But our focus is obviously on what we're trying to make in EUBANK Benn, and the planned date for that is December 23rd.
I'll ask you the same questions as I asked Eddie. Is Fury Usyk the biggest fight in boxing right now?
I think it's one of the biggest fights in boxing. I think not necessarily commercially, and again, people question it. I still think Joshua against Fury is probably the biggest fight. I still think Joshua against Wilder is a commercially as big a fight as Usyk Fury. But it's not taking anything away from it. It's huge for the sport, undisputed heavyweight championship of the world, and it's great to see. And it's the kind of fights we need to see.
Is AJ going to fight this year?
That's what we're working on now. It's all part of these same discussions over the next sort of week. I think that will play out. December 23rd was a date we were talking about for him as well. Kind of depends a little bit on the Wilder conversations. They continue as well. Could that be in the first quarter of next year possibly? And he goes into that. Let's see.
Who could he fight if it's not Wilder?
I don't want to talk about it because we get so much stick for saying about things, and then if they don't happen, I'd rather just focus on trying to make something happen, and then when it's ready, people can't then say, well, you said, like with Wilder, you said it would be in December, and that's what we believe. We're fans as well of the sport. We want to make the biggest fights possible, so let us work on it over the next few days. You might get a different answer from Eddie, but that's my focus, is let us work on it, and we go from there.
I was looking down BoxRec and just looking at the heavyweights who could potentially, AJ could fight. Filip Hrgović seems to be the only one who isn't tied up around that top 15 at the minute. Is that a potential option you're looking at?
Well, look, that's part of the discussion. Filip Hrgović is mandatory challenger for Alexander Usyk. He's been patient for over 14 months now. And he deserves his shot. So that's something we're looking at currently, around the whole Fury Usyk discussions. I think that's part of the reason why they sort of rushed out that announcement, is because they were under pressure to get something out there. But we deserve... look, Filip Hrgović worked very hard. He's worked hard to get his world title shot, and he deserves it. So that's what we've got to focus on first and foremost.
Did you know Frank Warren had a show on this weekend?
No.
Well, he does. Eddie Hearn said that earlier, that's why. Yeah, he's got another show on at York Hall. I believe it's Mark Leach versus Masood Abdullah. Do you believe that show will have VADA testing?
Probably not. I guess not. I don't know. Probably not, no. But why? If I say not and he has got it, then I doubt it, mate.
This is only because I'm not just saying this. Eddie Hearn was saying today that he had no idea, and we've got to ask him if he's got VADA testing, to be honest. So I was going to go down that. But what do you make of Frank's comments towards you overall?
Here's what it is like. His interview last week was ill-informed because he said I called Robert Smith a pillock, which I didn't. I called Adam Catterall a pillock. Never said anything detrimental about Robert Smith. I wouldn't do it. I have a professional relationship with him. I have an opinion on the way things have been dealt with, but I'd never say anything. Look, certain people, I think, are, I can have my opinion on Robert Smith. I'm not going to come out and say something like that. Like I say, I've worked with him for a long time, but I don't know why Frank's. I don't know what I've said about Frank recently.
Do you think it's personal?
I don't know. He gets very angry. Nothing I say is personal. It's all a bit of a laugh, mate. Him, Simon Jordan. Simon Jordan's so angry about me as well. Him and Frank Warren. So, but I take it with a pinch of salt. I'm 31 years old. I love the fact they're all talking about me. It's all a bit of fun, isn't it? You got to focus on their own business rather than talk about me. That's why I haven't said anything negative about him. Just focus on their own business. Don't worry about me. I'm just a tea boy. I'm just making tea. So don't even bring me up. It's much easier that way.
Wood Warrington this week is brewing quite nicely. It's going to be a big one on Saturday. I'm not in there, isn't it?
It's going to be an unbelievable atmosphere. You've got two guys. We've all seen what they've created, in both of their hometowns, and bringing them together in Sheffield. Packed out arena, unbelievable undercard. The fight's going to deliver as it always does between when these guys get in the ring. So I can't wait. And one of the biggest all British fights this year.
Last one, 10 years ago to the day since Anthony Joshua made his pro debut. Roller coaster ups and downs. Was you actually the T-boy then, Frank, 10 years ago?
Yes. No, you know, when AJ turned pro, so it would have been just over 10 years ago, I took him for his medicals. I was just, you know, back then I was doing any job you needed me to do. So I have a great relationship with AJ. But yeah, I was a T-boy back then, and so amazed by what he's done. He's done amazing things for the sport. He deserves a lot more credit than I think he gets, and he's a big part of why the sport is where it is today. So, you know, that 10 years has gone very quickly. Like you say, there's been ups, there's been downs, but without the ups and the highs are so much better when you have some downs in there as well. So, and you know, that's what's made him part of what he is the comebacks as well. And you know, I think you're going to see some big fights next year, and like I say, he deserves a lot of credit because he's done unbelievable things in the sport.
Who's progressed further in that 10 years, you or him?
I think slightly more him, to be honest. Slightly more, a little bit more, maybe. Yeah.
I don't know, Mr. Worldwide, Kuala Lumpur, Tokyo last week.
Yeah. I mean, he's progressed quite a bit more than me.
I don't know, I reckon the wedge, that matchroom wedge, mate.
Yeah, something like that, mate. Not about the money. I'm on work experience still. I'm a T-boy.
What, do you just do this out of the kindness of your heart still, do you?
I love it. I love the abuse.
Okay, Frank Smith, thank you very much for speaking to IFL TV, and I will see you tomorrow, mate.
Cheers, mate.